Paul tells the church that spiritual blindness of Israel is a mystery and it had not been previously been revealed to anyone. For thousands of years, Israel had been the one nation that looked to God. All nations rejected the light and chose to live in spiritual darkness. So we listen to Jesus. He says, but to whom or what shall I compare this generation? It is like children sitting in the marketplace who call out to one another and say, we played the flute for you, and you did not dance. We sang a dirge, and you did not mourn. For John came neither eating or drinking, and they said of John, he has a demon. The Son of Man came eating and drinking, and they say, behold, a gluttonous man and a drunkard, a friend of tax collectors and sinners. Yet wisdom is vindicated by her deeds. So Israel and her inspired prophets revealed monotheism, the one God who is personally interested in mankind's destiny of heaven or hell, the path to salvation, and written with the Ten Commandments. So again, we hear Jesus. He came to his hometown and he was beginning to teach them in their synagogue. And they were astonished and they said, where did the man get this wisdom and these miraculous powers? Is this not the carpenter's son? Is this not a mother called Mary and his brothers James and Joseph and Simon and Judah and his sisters? Are they not all with us? When did this man get all these things? And they took offense at him. Imagine that. They were offended by Jesus. Jesus speaks and says to them, a prophet is not without honor except in his hometown and in his own household. And so he didn't do very many miracles there because of their unbelief. So Jesus was rejected by Israel. They rejected the prophesied Messiah. They rejected the promises of the kingdom of heaven. And a veil of spiritual blindness fell upon the eyes of the Jews. And they had been previously very spiritually discerning people. So as Paul explained it, this hardening on the part of Israel led to the blessing of the Gentiles who would believe in Jesus, and they accepted him as master and savior. So the Jews rejected Jesus. Not all of them, but most of them. And the early believers were very focused on the prophecy to be able to prove that the claims that Jesus made as Messiah actually took place. The Jews took the position that these prophecies did not refer to the Messiah, but to Israel or some other person. And we hear John say in John 1:11, Jesus came to his own, and those who were his own did not receive him. And that's very sad. But there is good news. And the good news is that some Jews are turning to the Messiah today. The God of Israel has always been faithful to keep a remnant of believing Jews to himself. In the United States alone, some estimates say that there are over 100,000 Jewish believers in Jesus, and the number is growing all the time.